In the last video, we looked at how you create new pages. We created a two-panel page. We're back on the home page where there appear to be three panels. In fact, there were really five. Let me click on Layout. Now that I've clicked on Layout, you can see there's a left pane, a content pane, content left, content right, and a right pane. This is going to allow us to put additional blocks down here on the main page. Typically, you won't want to use that 5-pane approach. It's too complex for most pages other than the home page. Typically, you'd want to use perhaps 3 at the most complex, but there may be reasons in a section for doing so. It is available if you want to use it. Let's go back to edit mode. Now what we're going to do in this section is we're going to look at the announcements here, the latest news on the home page. We're going to look at how you add an announcement and some considerations for the style of how you go about doing so. In the last one, we added a new announcement saying that Gareth and Izzy had endorsed our upcoming event. What we're going to do now is add that to the latest news. So the latest news uses the announcements module. It's not simple text. So I'm going to click on Add New Announcement. Now, the title is going to appear all the way across, so I don't want it to be too big, otherwise it's going to look a bit silly. So I'm going to go with a version of the page title, Gareth and Izzy Endorsement. Okay, and what I can do now is add in some text. Now, we had quite a lot of text on the page. Well, not all that much, but a certain amount of text on the main page. We want a subset of that text here. I've tried to paste it from just simple text, and it's saying, do you want to allow access? It's where there's a potential security issue with allowing a tool like the rich text to let you paste things in. If you don't want to allow that, you can paste it in as simple text. Click OK, and there it is. Now, of course, we could use things like bold and italics to make this text more exciting, but we don't want that. We want very simple text here. The key thing is, this is just a teaser. We're linking off to our real page. Here is the link section. We're going to click on Page. We're going to be going off to a page on our site, and it then comes up with this, a list of potential pages. The page I want to link to is the one we created in the previous video, Gareth and Izzy Endorsement. So now it's going to add automatically a read more link that links off to that section. I don't want to track the number of times this link is clicked, though we have that option if we need it. The publish date is today, but notice the existence of an expire date. Typically, we don't want the latest news to become too big, and we don't want it to become stale. So here we pick the calendar. I'm going to set this up to last for 1 month. It's July the 2nd, so I'm going to go to August. I'm going to click the 2nd of August, and now it will automatically expire this item from the latest news on that date. I could also specify the view order so that I control which one of the announcements is higher up the page. I'm not going to do that for the time being. I click Update, and now I have a second item. And you notice, because it's the most recent, it's automatically appearing at the top, which is the behavior that we probably want. If I click to View, notice we have Read More there. If I click on that, here is one I created earlier. The other reason I wanted to show you this announcements module is I want to show you how you take existing content and add it to another page. So if I go now to the announcements page under Media Center, this is the parent page for all the announcements, and as you can see, it's currently blank. What I really want is to display the latest news announcements here as well as on the home page. I can do this. If I open up the control panel, you can see one option here is Add Existing Module. I click on this. It changes the settings here. What I now want to do is pick the page where the module is. It's the home page. And the module from the home page that I want is the latest news module. It asks me where I want to put it. Well, the main pane, the big pane, either the central one or the one on the right in a 2-pane, is always content pane. I want to put it in there, and I just want to add that module. Now, the content of this module is the same. If I amend it here, it will also amend it in the underlying page. I'll just demonstrate that. Let's go into edit mode and let's edit the top one because there's no gap and I'd rather like there to be a gap. So what I'm going to do is put a return before Gary Sinise. And I'm going to save that content, update. Actually, let's just, to make this absolutely clear, let's type in hello. Okay, and I'm going to update that. And now you see I've got hello Gary Sinise. If I go to the home page, you'll see it now says hello there as well. So you have to be aware that you have the same content, you're simply putting it in more than one page. Well, I don't want hello there, so I'm going to go in and change that. I also want to show you how you can tweak parts of the behavior. So let's get rid of the hello and let's have a look at the when I've saved that, so update. Let's have a look at the container on the page. I mentioned before that this doesn't really work very well as a top item. If I click view, you can see this slightly odd dropped effect. It doesn't level up nicely. It's not really appropriate. I don't want to use the snow icon if I'm making it the main item on the page. So here I'm going to go into edit mode again. I'm going to go into settings. And here what I'm going to do is change the page settings so that I'm going to use the blue header with the snow background but without an icon. So I update that. And now I have the look that I want on this page. Let's go to view. That's a cleaner look. And if I go to the home page, you'll see that while the content remains consistent between the two, the snow icon is still here. So you can change the container individually on the page or where it is on the page. I could, for example, if I go into edit mode, I could choose to move the latest news over to the left hand side. I could move it to the left pane. That might be a good idea actually, it works quite well there. We'll see. Let's look at that in view mode. Yes, perhaps not. Clearly there's an issue because of the icon and the size of the text. So I don't want to have it on that side. So let's go back and let's move it back where it was comfortable, which was over on the right hand side. You should always look and see how your page works out when it's in the real world, when you've finished with it. Don't just assume it's always going to look correctly. Look at it first. So we've moved it around there, all of that without affecting how it appears on this page. So content is consistent, but location and container can be varied. So in this one we've looked at how you use the announcements model, a little bit about how you can move things around the page and choices of varying content and containers between shared modules.